Welcome inside the vlog. Little bit unusual. It's not a travel vlog. I'm at home here in Port Charlotte, Florida. And we got the hurricane coming. We got Hurricane Ian, which I guess they're saying is going to be a Category 4 when it hits lands tomorrow in Venice. That's what they're saying right now. Today is Tuesday. They're saying the eye of the storm is going to hit Venice, and we're only a few towns south of that. So they're saying it's probably not going to be too good. But quick little life update first. Me and my wife, Melissa, moved from... That sound you heard is my windshield wipers, by the way. Me and my wife moved from the Tampa Bay area in Riverview down to the Port Charlotte area. We're in an apartment in Northport for a few months. Not a year-long lease. It's a few months. Because we're looking to buy a house, getting real close to that. Kind of a long story why we moved down here, but Melissa has family down in this area. There's less traffic. And just number one reason is housing's a lot more affordable here. It's hard to afford anything in Tampa Bay because it's so pricey for working folks. But down here, you know, it's cheaper living. My job pays the same. Like, I'm still driving a cement mixer. I just had to switch companies because we're about an hour and 20 minutes away from where we used to live. I'm with a different company, matched my pay. Same everything, same job, and I'm happy so far. We've been down here about a month. We have been traveling. Had a Las Vegas trip a few weeks ago. Didn't vlog it. Kind of wish I did. I'll get back into it. But anyway, Hurricane Ian in Florida. People are kind of just really making a big deal out of this. It's my first hurricane. I've lived in Florida almost 2 years, and this is my first major hurricane. So we live in an apartment building on the 3rd floor, so I'm not worried about that. You know, if the building gets damaged, it's not my problem. I'm worried about my truck here and my wife's car, and most of all, our boat. Our boat's in a storage place in Port Charlotte, which I'm on the way to right now. I'll show you guys what I'm going to do and how I'm going to prepare. I'm actually going to take the outboard motor off and put it in my father-in-law's garage and bring it indoors, and then secure the boat itself down. I'll show you guys. I just came from Harbor Freight, Lowe's, and Home Depot to get some supplies, which, yeah, I shouldn't have been so last minute, but they had everything I needed between 3 places. Let's go. Now, oh, and by the way, this is going to be a several days long vlog to show you the whole thing, right through the storm and the aftermath and all that. So the weather's not horrible yet. The storm's not supposed to come until tomorrow, with the worst of it, I think they're saying tomorrow night. Just normal rain. It's been cloudy all day. I worked until noon, and then they shut the concrete plant down at noon today. So it's like 3 o'clock right now. So the apartment that me and my wife live in is about 8-10 miles inland from the coast, so that shouldn't be as bad with storm surge. But the storage place where the boat is only 2 or 3 miles from the coast, and it's in the red flood zone on the map. They put out all these maps, and who the heck knows who writes them, but all over the local news they have these maps on flood zones, and whatever zone you're in is how bad the storm surge is expected to be. And the boat is in the red zone, which is supposed to be the worst one. So I'm gonna go, that's where I'm on the way to. I'm gonna go shore up the boat. This is Port Charlotte, Florida. If you're not familiar with Florida, this is about a half-hour north of Fort Myers, and maybe an hour and 15 minutes south of Tampa, if you're not too familiar with Charlotte County. So this is the storage place where I keep the boat. So we live in an apartment. I don't have a place to put it there. When we lived up in Riverview, we had a place like this up there. So this one's ours over here under the green tarp. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the motor off. This motor is probably worth more than this boat is. It's about a $3,000, $3,200 motor. It's brand new 3 months ago, 20 horsepower. So I'm going to put this in my father-in-law's garage. And you're probably asking, why don't I just put the whole boat there? And there's not room because it's full of stuff. So just the motor. But that's okay because I have a pretty good plan here. I'm gonna show you once I get this motor unloaded. So the motor is about 110 pounds. One person can do it, but it takes some work. Alright, got the motor loaded up in my truck. And with an outboard motor, you always want to put it up this way, with that side facing up. Because they say it's not going to damage the engine if it's on its side. Like the oil can spill out inside the engine in weird places. So I have heard my whole life that you store them and transport them like this. Alright, moving on. I'll show you the I can't even talk. I'll show you guys the boat some other time when it's better weather. I'm not going to uncover it. I'm just going to get to work securing it. But there will be a boat vlog once the storm passes. So this may not look like much. I just hammered in that framing stake. But what they look like is this. They're about 2.5, almost 3 feet long. And this, no exaggeration, that probably weighs like 4 pounds, maybe 5. Just hammering them in all the way, like that much of this is going to be in the ground. As secure as I can get it, then I'm going to put ratchet straps from side to side. I have 6 of these. So I'm going to do 3 ratchet straps and anchor them to the ground and hope for the best. So I do really love this boat. I hope nothing happens. Like the motor is going indoors, like I said, but the boat, it can get wet. Like if there's 10 feet of storm surge, that is okay. Because the boat's waterproof. It's an aluminum boat with carpet inside and plastic seats. It will dry. So if it's totally underwater, I don't care. It just has to stay in this spot. I don't want it to float away or be blown away. So that's why I'm trying to anchor it down really good. Makes me feel a little better, honestly, that there's so much other stuff still here at the storage place. Nobody really did anything except just left their stuff here. I seem to be the only one who came to secure anything. This is what it looks like any old ordinary day. They'll store anything here. It's mostly boats and RVs, but there's like some trailers and a few cars here and there. Then I got some bolts to go in here like this, to attach the ratchet straps to with the hook. I'm going to wrap it around pretty good, but I figure that will at least keep it from sliding right off. So I got it all set. Went pretty well. Only thing left to do is take the motor over to my father-in-law's house and put it in the garage. And then just head home and wait for the damn thing to pass. I just pulled into the gas station because most of the gas stations have already closed for the storm, but I found one that's open. Didn't really need much, but I topped off just because it was open. And they got a staging area back here for all the power line workers for getting ready for the power outages. That's my windshield wipers again. So not a whole lot happened last night. I got home from securing the boat. And it was raining and windy, but not really anything out of the ordinary. And it's the next morning, and I don't think the worst of the storm's coming till tonight. So I just headed outside right now. So that's my wife Melissa, that's Sadie. And Sadie was really excited to come outside, but I think that might change when she sees the weather. Well, still nothing crazy. It's windy, it's raining, but it's nothing really unusual for Florida. Yeah, but we're only going right back out and oh, there's my truck over there. So everything's fine so far. There's my truck. Her car is right there. I will say this, it's not raining very hard, but the raindrops that are coming down are the really big ones, so it feels like it's raining harder than it is. So this is the apartment complex we live in. This is right on the line between Northport and Port Charlotte, Florida. Anything you want to say? Don't know if you guys could hear that. She said no. So the parking lot's pretty full right now, so everybody's pretty much off work today. No matter what kind of job you do, everybody has the day off for the storm today and tomorrow. Okay, Melissa just said something funny when the camera was turned off. I can barely see in this light. You want to say that again?
I need your bathing suit.
To do what?
Go outside.
And also, there's an elevator here. Now, we live on the 3rd floor. There is an elevator, but they turned it off for the storm so that people wouldn't get stuck in there when the power goes out, which is widely expected at some point. It's a few hours later. It's now about 12:30 in the afternoon, and so far it's been a very boring day. It's just, there's nothing to do but stay in here. There's a lot of water on this porch. It's just the 3rd floor balcony. That definitely looks a little bit worse than before. Nothing crazy yet. Now this parking lot over here, like, this is a very big apartment complex. And there's probably like 10 different, or maybe 15 different buildings in this complex that are all pretty big. But this is the edge of it. So over here is like a plaza that has like doctor's office and like financial people and like that kind of stuff in it. And there's 2 campers over here. One here. And there's always like a bunch of stuff parked over here. There's a tractor trailer right there. And I'm wondering about this camper right here. That one's just a trailer. It doesn't have anything. Like, this one's heavier because that drives and has an engine and that. But I would not be surprised if that blows over some point during the next couple days. Okay, heading outside once again. So like I said, there is an elevator, but it's not active during the storm. They shut it right down. Honestly, this doesn't seem as bad as a few hours ago. It's a little bit less windy.
Less rain, I think.
Yeah, less rain and less wind somehow. It still is windy and it is raining, but this is almost like just an ordinary, thunderstorm. So the wind is gusting a little bit. When it gusts, it's pretty strong, but when it's not gusty wind, it's really not that bad. This is kind of just a normal rainy day in Florida still. So this is the building. Our apartment's like up in here on the 3rd floor. This complex is giant. I know the wind noise is probably really loud on this video. It always is. So that video got cut off because there was one of those emergency alerts where everybody's phone buzzes. And I swear, there's one of those like every 3 or 4 hours since like yesterday morning about this hurricane. I mean, come on, people don't need a mandatory message making their phone buzz telling them there's a hurricane. I think everybody knows it by now. So that's what cut that video off. It's really not bad. It's better than when we came out earlier. Let's see what the rest of the day brings. Alright, so now it actually does feel like it's a hurricane. Lost power a few minutes ago. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. And the biggest thing to show you is this. The patio door is leaking. So the wind is gusting a lot. It actually feels like a hurricane now. There's already some branches on the ground that you can kind of see out here. So the gas cans I put on the porch aren't moving. So I had to empty all the stuff out of the back of my pickup truck. Let me show you guys all the stuff I took in yesterday. So all of this was in the back of my pickup truck, so I had to bring this whole pile of crap in. I had about twice that much. I threw out half of it. This is just the stuff I decided to keep. And that's an emergency backpack right there. That, if things get so bad that, just had to leave, that's the stuff I would need. But But let me go back over here and show you this door again. So this is a screened in porch. We're on the 3rd floor, like I've been saying, and the water is coming in here near the ground. Hard to see it on this video. It's leaking all throughout here. That's why there's a towel down. You know, we need like a big push broom or something. We can just go outside and push the water right off the porch. And we were looking around and didn't have anything, so that dustpan was the only thing we could come up with to clear the water off the porch, but it's been working okay so far. Probably venture outside a little bit later and show you guys what's going on out there, but just heavy driving rain, heavy wind. Like in the last clip, it didn't look like there was a hurricane. It didn't feel like it, but now it does. Getting worse still. It is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is full of water down here that's coming in. And I didn't get it on video. I missed it by a few seconds, but the dog was just over here drinking the water that's in the door frame. It was pretty funny. The porch has probably an inch of water on it.
The window.
Oh yeah, let me go over here. If you look up here, the molding is starting to come off the side of the building over here, right below the roof. So that's aluminum. A couple pieces are loose, but I don't think anything's flew off just yet. And this window over here is leaking also. So let's go outside onto the balcony here, outside the front door, and see what it's doing. So power is off to the building. That's like a battery backup hallway light that's on down there with the exit sign. So all the cars in the parking lot appear to be okay so far, which is good. That blue one is my wife's car. My pickup truck's just around the corner. Yeah, all these palm trees are holding up good so far. A lot of people are still here at this apartment complex. Judging by the number of cars in the parking lot, I'd say more people are here than chose to leave. Here's the elevator. In case of fire, do not use elevator, use stairs. It should say also in case of hurricane. The price you pay for living in paradise. So on this side of the building, it looks like the gutters and the roof line is still okay. That's what was coming off in the back of the building. Everything does look okay over here. This camper that's parked back here in the parking lot behind the apartment complex is still standing, does not appear to be damaged. Nothing out here looks at all damaged. All the vehicles look okay, which is really good. Honestly, that's what I'm the most worried about besides the safety of myself and my wife and the dog, is just the vehicles, because this apartment, I just rent here, so if something happens, I don't want it to, but if something happens to the building, I'm not on the hook for it. And hopefully the boat's okay, as you saw yesterday in this video. Still no power, kind of just hanging out, sitting on the stairs here. I've been listening to the radio. We're kind of just both hanging around.
Right here on Operation Storm Watch.
It's about 4:40 in the afternoon, and I just looked at the radar weather, and this is the worst part of the storm right now, it looks like. That's what they're saying on the radio. And look down here, just watch when a wind gust comes in. This is the bottom of the patio door. I can feel the water against my legs, splashing way back here. So yeah, this carpet's getting soaked. Like right here, the carpet, like you step on it and my foot's sinking into water. And it goes back, it's wet until probably about here. So out here, driving heavy rain. It's hard to see it in this video, but this tree right here, some branches are down, branches on the ground from the tree. These vehicles out here still look like they're okay. Like that tractor trailer over here, you can barely see it, but it looks okay. That camper looks okay. That one looks okay. And there's a few cars parked over here, but I can't even see them. There's so much rain. Look how much extra batteries we got. I went to Harbor Freight, and these are cheap batteries, so they don't last too long, but it's like $3 for 24. So I have like 7 of these packs, so I have like almost 200 batteries. Bunch of spare little flashlights. And just listening to the radio over here.
Just about close enough.
Let's go outside and see what's going on. All right, here we go. This is supposed to be the worst part of the storm. The neighbor's doormat blew up like that. Well, across there's a palm tree that fell over in front of the building across the way. Looks like it did not damage anything. It missed all the cars over there, which is good. I mean, so far, I can't see it real well from here, but it looks like all the cars in the parking lot seem to be okay, which is really good news. Some debris down here, like some, pieces of the palm tree, fell off, but that's nothing major. Let's take a walk around here. I can kind of see my pickup truck over there. It appears to be okay from my view here, but I can't really see the whole thing because there's kind of a tree in the way. Yep. My wife's car is okay. There's some piece of debris on the ground behind it, and the car itself looks okay. I was just getting soaked standing over there. The rain was just blowing in. Let's go down the other end and see what we can see. So I'm just walking back and forth on the 3rd floor outdoor walkway. And again, this is the apartment complex that I live in. It's right on the line between Port Charlotte and Northport, Florida. Right there, you got a big potted plant. It's hard to see it with this palm tree, but right down there, there's a big potted plant that just fell over. Big, heavy one. There's some debris blowing around down here. That's a piece of aluminum that blew off the soffit of the building, like this stuff under here. That's a piece of it. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some damage to this building, but nothing really that severe so far, at least that I'm seeing. You can hear aluminum blowing around. Like the pieces, the most damage I see to the building is these soffit pieces under here and the bent aluminum on the roof. There's gutters on this side, but the back of the building is just bent aluminum, and that stuff's being peeled right off. Woo! Yeah. All right, so back inside. You know, honestly, it's bad, but it could be worse. I mean, all the cars in the parking lot looked okay, and the reason I keep talking about that is because everybody that lives here, it's an apartment complex that has insurance for this building, and everybody that lives here is required to have renter's insurance for their stuff, so it's the biggest liability is people's cars here, and I love my pickup truck. Those of you that have been watching these videos know that, and it looked okay from what I could see. My wife's car looked okay. Because in Florida, I'll tell you right now, not everybody carries full insurance on their cars. Like everybody has to have liability insurance because it's the law, but a lot of people don't carry comprehensive collision coverage, all that kind of stuff. And I don't because my truck is old. So the only thing I carry is liability for accidents. So if something happened, it's out of my own pocket. So that's why I keep going back to that again and again. And same thing for the boat. Our boat has no insurance, so that'd be out of my own pocket too. It's just before 5 p.m. and the bulletin on the radio was saying that it should be going like this until about 6 p.m. Then it should start to get better. So hopefully it'll be okay. And one thing I do want to point out,
temporary outs that are on the beach.
so I've been listening to the radio pretty much all day. And what they're doing on the radio, every single station has storm coverage, even the music stations. Like in this area, there's one company called iHeartMedia that owns a lot of the radio stations. Every single one of them is doing the same storm coverage, and it's just played on every station. It's not bad. I've been listening to it all day. Because we can't watch TV, we got no power, and I'm trying to save battery on my phone, so I'm doing these videos, sending a quick text here or there, got the screen brightness all the way down, just trying to make it last, because I don't know when power is coming back, probably be a while. But literally every radio station from Tampa to Fort Myers, even the music stations, are doing storm coverage right now. So that camper finally did move. The front end of it moved 5 or 10 feet, swung this way. Looks okay other than that. That's not mine, by the way. That's not why I keep talking about it. I just thought it was interesting from the beginning to see how much that thing was gonna move and get damaged. This heavier one over here with an engine that drives is fine. Let's see that tractor trailer over there. You can barely see it, but it looks okay. The biggest development in here is, come over here, let me show you. The roof just started leaking. Hard to see in the video. There's a spot right here where there's water damage coming down through the roof. So it makes me wonder if the roof started to come off the building, because I heard some sounds up above a little bit ago that were new. I hadn't heard them earlier in the storm. Ooh, and the top of that tree came right off, and it looks like it's down next to it. Let's venture out here and take a look. There we go. So there's debris, there's some tree branches down, and that whole tree toppled over. The palm trees seem to be taking it better than the other trees. It's getting soaked out there, so I'm not gonna stay long. The palm trees seem to be surviving this better than any other kind of tree. So that one just snapped off and is on the ground. This parking lot back here is flooded. I'm gonna go on the other side of the building. That one, when I poked my head out the door a minute ago, yeah, the dog is pretty scared from all of this. 5:23 p.m. Let's venture outside as much as we can safely do. Yep, more pieces of siding and soffit are coming off the building. Up here on the balcony, the wind isn't terrible at the moment. So far, it felt worse last time I came out about a half hour ago. Oh, there's my wife's car. Looks totally fine. Yeah, the two palm trees are down now. This palm tree here was down. Let me zoom in. This palm tree right here was down last time. This one over here, it's hard to see it. There's a second one down that's new. Yeah, I am the only one outside, not a soul around. If anyone sees me through their window, they're gonna think I'm nuts, probably. So the stairs are covered in leaves. Yeah, the wind is pretty bad. Okay, so I was out there maybe 30 seconds. So it's about a half hour later. What you're hearing is one of those emergency alerts on the radio, which are totally stupid. They've been having emergency alerts on the radio and on the... Oh, it's scaring the dog. See, those emergency alerts are stupid. They're on the radio. They're those messages that pop up on the phone. If you don't know there's a hurricane by now, you are really, really stupid. I mean, it's been... oh, really? Yeah, look, the dog is drinking the water out of the cup that we put down to catch the drips from the ceiling. I think we're up to 4 spots leaking now. 5. Okay, we're up to 6 different spots leaking. Yeah, the dog's just probably terrified. Oh, come on, Sadie, it's gonna end soon. We moved everything away from the window. This is still leaking, the patio door. So there's one spot that's leaking. Oh, you know what? This one's leaking through the sprinkler system is where this is leaking in through. Bedroom's okay. So this is the big one. This is the one I wanted to show you guys. Let me turn the light a different way. See that? That is coming in. The water's getting in underneath the roof. And it's just pooling in above the ceiling. So that plaster on the ceiling's just bubbling up with water. And this one finally broke. And it's actually missing this bowl we put down. Like, you can see it. It's like, it's missing it by like a couple inches and going down to the first floor. There's another one down there, the bowl to catch it. I'm just hoping this big bubble just drains. And then, because it looks like it's getting smaller, maybe it'll drain and then be gone. Yeah, so this place is starting to fall apart. Like, there's another bubble over there. Like I said, though, this is a rental. So we just have to ride out the storm and, you know, they'll have to fix it because it's their building. I don't want damage, but I'm glad I don't own a house right now. Just a sad situation. The roof is okay. Like, looking out this window here, it's hard to see it on the video, but the tiles on the roof, they look okay. And when I went outside a half hour ago, there were no tiles blowing around down there. So I think the roof is intact. It's just leaking. So that's the update. Just after 6 p.m. And again, we've heard conflicting things on the radio. One of them said 8 p.m. One of them said 6 p.m. it would start to wind down. And so far, it's after 6. It ain't stopping. A few minutes later, same situation. I came down into the kitchen area and I saw this thing. My wife put it down to catch the water that's dripping, and my first thought was, that looks like an urn. What is this thing?
It's the thing that holds your, like, spatula and, like, kitchen stuff.
Alright, I guess she just said it's if you heard that, I'm not sure. She said it's a thing that holds kitchen stuff.
I forgot what it's called. Canister, I think.
Oh, the things women buy. We're outside. We just took the dog out. Melissa came with me this time. And it's definitely getting better. The worst of it came and went. Sadie had a really hard time, going to the bathroom. I think she's just scared, which is understandable. All right, another update. It's just after 8 p.m. We both just went outside. We took Sadie out, and she was pretty scared, but she did her business. Checked on our cars. The water in the parking lot, there's probably 4 or 5 inches of standing water, but it's not getting worse, and it hasn't in like 3 hours. I've been checking. So my wife's car and my truck both made it. The wind is definitely dying down. It's not raining as hard. It's just coming out of it. It's only 8 o'clock, but we're laying in bed just because we're bored and don't have anything else to do. Like, Melissa's sitting here, like, doing a craft, and I'm just listening to the radio, playing on my phone. Just good local radio. They've had really good coverage on today in this area. Not a whole lot else to say, really. Kind of just sitting around waiting for it to end. Hopefully by morning it will be better. And we can go out and scope out the damage. At some point, as soon as it's possible, I do want to take a ride and check on the boat. The boat storage place is about 15 minutes from the apartment. But the apartment's in one of the safer flood zones. The boat was in like zone A, so I'm not going to be surprised if the boat's totally underwater right now. So who knows? We'll see what happens, It's the boat's the boat, We're safe. We have our health. Nobody's injured. Our cars are fine. So, we're okay. Just a big inconvenience. This is honestly the worst part of living in Florida. As somebody called into the radio show today and they said, this is just the price you pay for living in paradise. And this vlog's going to keep going and going because I'm going to make this all one video. And I'm going to show you guys the aftermath of when we go outside tomorrow and when, I finally get to drive around and check everything out. I'll take you guys right along with me. It's about 10:30 at night. I took a nap for a little bit. And now I'm going to go back outside and check on my truck and Melissa's car and just see what's going on. It really feels like the storm's died down. It's pretty much over. Like, there's still some wind gusts, but it's not as bad as it was. So it's definitely pretty much over. This place is a mess. The table's in the middle of the room. Everything's moved around because the ceiling was leaking. The ceiling has stopped dripping, which is really good. Let's go out and see what we got. This will be the last clip for tonight. It's around 11 o'clock. I just went outside and checked on everything. My truck is fine. Melissa's car is fine. It's pretty much stopped raining. It's still a little bit windy, but the rain is gone. The storm is moving out. Really good news. This place actually made it really well. The roof never came off the building. A lot of the plastic soffit pieces and the aluminum like the bent aluminum right below the roof line. A lot of that came off and it was scattered all over. But other than that, this place made it pretty well. Still like 4 or 5 inches of standing water in the parking lot. But that hasn't risen in like 6 or 7 hours, which is really good. And just, it honestly could have been a whole lot worse. You know, thankfully everybody here is okay. I've been listening to radio coverage of the storm all day, and we fared really good. A lot of people weren't so lucky. Just been hearing on the radio all day about houses getting washed away and total floods. And one of my coworkers just called me a little bit ago, and he told me he's got a 40-foot RV in his backyard that made it, but his parents have one in the front yard, and that got turned upside down and destroyed. He's not sure if his car's okay yet because his car is pinned between the upside down RV and the side of the house. He was telling me his neighbors from 6 houses up the street are in his living room hanging out because their house is okay, but the neighbor's house is total loss. So I'm gonna venture out tomorrow when it gets light out and see what's going on. Not yet sure if that's gonna be driving or by foot. Depends on how the roads are, if they're passable. I don't know yet. Tomorrow's a new day, but made it through the worst of it and everything's okay. Man, I just hope life gets back to normal. Sooner the better. I don't know how long it's gonna be till I get back to work. The concrete plant that I work at is like 2 miles from the coast. Up here, we're like 8 to 10 miles from the coast. So I don't know if the trucks are destroyed or I just don't know. Don't know. But, you know, here we're healthy. Melissa's asleep. We're healthy. We're doing okay. I'll talk to you guys in the morning. Next morning, storm's completely gone. It's actually a nice sunny day out. Walking around, looking at the damage, and this apartment complex fared pretty well, honestly, compared to everything, you know, on the radio and everything we've heard from other people through text. This is actually done pretty well. Both our cars are fine. We're just walking around. Sadie is out, and could have been a lot worse. So this is the middle of the apartment complex. There's this little pond and this pathway around it. And that's probably the most severe damage we've seen so far. This tree fell over. So far, a lot of people out, a lot of people looking at what's going on, a lot of people walking dogs. Just storm has came and went. Everybody wondering how long it's gonna be till the power comes back. Yeah, I don't think Sadie knows what to make of all this. More palm trees that didn't make it. This is the most common debris we've been seeing around this apartment complex. This is like the plastic pieces that go just under the roof line. They're kind of in the soffit. These things are cheap junk. Other than that, the building held up pretty good. Wow. Y'all done drinking the storm water, Sadie?
Like a big water bowl.
We went outside, we walked around the whole apartment complex. This place could have done a lot worse, honestly. We're pretty lucky. What really happened is a bunch of trees fell. Some of the walkways were damaged. A little bit of the roof came off, like on the other side of the complex. But all things considered, totally good. All the cars are fine. It's like, everything's good here. Let me just show you something real quick. That camper that I showed you guys last night, the owner is here to get it this morning. He's been walking around for a half hour checking it over. And from here, it looks fine. There's a travel trailer over here, one of those big 3-axle jobs, and the roof came off. This RV right here, it looks totally fine. Nobody's been around for it yet. The tractor trailer over here looks totally fine. heading out. We're pretty lucky. The apartment complex was not as bad as it could have been. It made it pretty well. We're on the way to check on the boat, and then I think we're gonna go over and visit Melissa's parents, which are, I don't know, about 10 minutes away from here, but the boat's about 15 minutes away. A lot of people on the road so far. So we'll see what happens. So far, so good, but this is 10 miles inland. The boat's only 2 miles inland, so I won't be surprised if we have trouble getting through when we get closer. This is a Shell gas station about 5 minutes from the apartment. The apartment was okay, and we drove out and everything else took it worse so far. I just pulled in here to show you guys this. Now this is 20 seconds up the street. 7-Eleven did a lot better. Sign came off, but all the pumps are fine. This 7-Eleven was sold out of gas like 3 days before the storm came, because they always have the lowest price. This is like the lowest price gas station in this area. So not too bad. Hopefully they'll be up and open, because all these people driving around are gonna need gas at some point. Hopefully something opens. All right, so this is the main drag in Port Charlotte. We're just pulling over because this is a store that sells lamps and lights, and the place is gone. Like, it has a glass storefront, but it's done for. Man, oh man.
Need a lamp?
Yeah, I need a broken one. I hear they're on clearance this week. And you know, I just want to tell you guys, you know, I may crack a joke or two, and maybe Melissa will in this video, but we mean no harm. Like, this is tragic for everybody involved. You never want a disaster like this. It really is terrible for this whole region and the whole state of Florida. We made it 5 minutes down the road towards the boat. We still had 10-15 minutes to go on that drive, and the road that I would normally take to get there was completely flooded, so we just turned around, and we're gonna see if we can find our way around on a more main road, and we'll see. Getting a little bit closer to the coast. This is a mile or two closer than the last clip. Look at the gas station. The whole thing just fell over. Alright, so I got so excited that we arrived at the boat storage place to check on the boat that I just forgot about the vlog, and I left my phone in my truck. So we were able to drive right up to it, except the last 100 yards. So I had to park my truck the last 100 yards because there was a foot and a half of water in the road. And you know, I love this truck more than I love the boat. And you know, being older, I didn't want to drive through a foot and a half of water. And Melissa stayed with the truck, and I walked in on foot to find the boat. And as I was going in, a guy in a big old, like, new-looking lifted F-250 came along. He's like, "Hey, I'm going that way. Jump in the back of the truck." So that's what I did. He drove me over there. And because he was like, he worked at a shop that was next door to the storage place, so he got me there, and then I guess he was going to check on his work or something. But what happened was, the boat's totally fine. That storage lot was 50-50. Half the boats were destroyed or on their side or tipped over. Ours was totally fine. Totally fine. Like, the tarp that was covering it was in tatters, but the boat itself was fine. The anchors that I put down the other day worked really well, and nothing next to us tipped over, luckily. But I was really relieved from that. But again, I love this truck more than the boat, and I love my wife more than this truck and the boat, so everything's good. Right now, we're just going over to check on my work at the concrete plant, which is only 5 more minutes up the street from the boat place, already halfway there. And because, you know, I want to work and make some money at some point here, so I don't want this to be down forever. So I'm just going to go check how the trucks made it, how the concrete plant made it, and then we're going to go over and see Melissa's parents, which are about 15-20 minutes from here. So, all good news so far. Most important thing, me and Melissa and Sadie the dog are all healthy. And, you know, second to that, you know, our cars are okay, the boat's okay, you know, we got really lucky. We're really blessed to be in the situation we're in. Okay, so I just did the same thing again. I got excited to check out what was going on. I left my phone in the truck, so sorry about that. The place I work at's not in bad shape. The truck I drive over there, the cement mixer, is fine. It's not that bad. They said before the storm we'd be working on Monday. I can see that happening, you know, based on the condition over there. All the trucks are fine. The concrete plant itself took a little bit of damage. Some of the machinery was messed up that makes the concrete, but not overly severe. It could have been worse. So, you know, our stuff is fine. We have our health. My job's probably going to be okay. Now, I don't know about Melissa's job. Like, she's supposed to work tomorrow, and she still doesn't know if that's going to happen or not. But her job's in Englewood, which took a little bit harder of a hit than Port Charlotte did, which is where we are now. So we'll see. You think you're going to be working tomorrow? I don't know if you heard her, but she said she doesn't know. Alright, so we're on the way to Melissa's parents to check in with them and see how they're doing. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit. So we're home. We just went in the apartment, had lunch. Now we're back out on foot exploring. I wanted to drive around all day and just explore and see the area, but it wouldn't have really been possible because all the gas stations are closed. So I use up the gas I have, and then what? So we couldn't get to Melissa's parents. The neighborhood they live in, all the entrances were there's like 4 streets that go in there. Every single one of them was flooded and too deep to drive in. There goes my hat. It's still a little bit windy. So we're just right now, we're on foot, we're walking around exploring in the complex behind the apartment complex. This is like doctor's offices and like financial advisors and that kind of stuff is what's in here. So we're walking around looking at it. We actually joke when we drive by this place, oh, nothing useful to us in there, no restaurants, no stores. It's just doctors, lawyers, and financial advisors for the most part. Walking around exploring. Okay, I think Sadie wanted to be in the vlog. She was, you know, kind of scared when the storm was coming through, but she took it pretty well. She's just totally back to normal now, just walking around exploring and barking at stuff and pooping and all the things that dogs do. Over here, the buildings themselves seems to be okay. Just a lot of debris and stuff scattered outside. Trees are down. The palm trees definitely took it better than any other kind of tree. A lot of the trees that are down are not the palm trees. We walked all the way through that complex out to the other side. And it's probably going to be hard to see in the video, but there's a gator out here. Yeah, like, oh. Gator's mostly underwater, so it's probably pretty hard to see. It is definitely going to take some time for this area to get back to normal. So I don't do well just sitting around bored, and it was a boring day once we got home, so I convinced Melissa that we should go out again and ride around, and she agreed because she wants to charge her phone anyway. So she's driving this time. We're in Port Charlotte on Route 41, the Tamiami Trail, which is like the main road through here. Everything's damaged. A lot of signs are falling over. Some buildings are totally fine. Trees down everywhere. None of the traffic lights work, so I really have to be careful driving around. And there are a lot of people out. There's scenes like this everywhere, just trees down. You know, the most important thing is that people are okay and safe and not hurt. But after a while of going, you know, once you catch your breath and go like, okay, I'm okay, my family's okay, etc., then you're like, okay, now what? I want to eat, all the restaurants are closed. I want a hot meal, there's no electricity at home to cook one. You know, I can't go too far because there's no gas. But, you know, very minor issues compared to, you know, having your health. And look over here. Look at all the electrical line workers getting ready to go. Yeah, those are all the guys to fix the power lines. Why they're just sitting in there and not working, I don't know. But at least they're kind of ready, I guess. You'd think they'd be working now, though, because it's a bright, sunny day. It really is just hit or miss. Like, you could drive by one building that looks totally fine, and then the next place is just destroyed. Okay, we're laughing. Now, we have seen only 2 businesses that are open in about 20 minutes of driving around. Melissa, what were they both?
Liquor stores.
Yes, and the liquor store we just drove by here in Port Charlotte, it had a line that wrapped around the building to get into the liquor store. It's the only thing that's open. Oh, wow, there's a Wawa that has gas. Let me show you the line.
Go in, get food.
All right, so there's a Wawa that's open. It's a gas station
Look
chain.
At the line.
But there's literally, there are probably, my goodness, there's probably 100 cars in line for gas.
Dang.
I mean, even if you wait in that line and, you know, get all the way to the front, they might run out by the time you get up there. Yeah, the line is like down the block. That's crazy. And there's a couple people trying to cut into the line. Hopefully nobody lets them in.
Look at them all.
'Cause that's cheating. And the line to get into the store wraps around the building. That is nuts. And that's why you get gas before the storm, which we did. We both have a full tank of gas. We have a few gallons in a gas can at home. But you just, you know, I want to get more so we can drive around. Because if we use up what we have, we got to get more. Yep, one gas station that's open. I feel like the whole town was there. Maybe I'll take a ride back over there in a couple hours when it gets later, see if it dies down a little bit. Then again, it might just not even be worth it. I wonder how they had power, though. Like, the traffic lights aren't working. That is the only thing that had power. I wonder if they had a generator that runs the whole place. Yeah, that was a madhouse. Still on Route 41, Tamiami Trail, driving southbound in Port Charlotte, about to cross the bridge over into Punta Gorda. This is a big apartment complex they've been building right on the water, and look at the tower cranes. One of them just collapsed right onto the building. Yeah, this storm probably did billions of dollars in damage. There's just so much everywhere. Look, this gas station is closed, but there are guys over there working on it. That's the first we've seen a business actually being worked on, trying to get back to normal. But they got a lot to do. So here's the bridge. This is Charlotte Harbor. We're going into Punta Gorda. Downtown Punta Gorda is right on the other side of this bridge, and they were saying on the radio they were getting reports of downtown being underwater completely. But even if that was the case, it's probably subsided by now, so we should be okay.
Because he didn't go. He wasn't supposed to go.
Okay, so downtown Punta Gorda is not underwater. I don't know if it receded or if the reports were just greatly exaggerated. Same as anywhere else, lots of tree damage, but it's drivable. So this is still Route 41, Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte. We drove through downtown Punta Gorda, turned around and came back. And we pulled over here because look at this Circle K. It's leveled. There's nothing left. This is the most damaged gas station we've seen so far. There's actually a news crew over there. I don't know who they're from, but there's like a news van, a camera guy, and everything over there. So I'm not gonna go bother them, but I am gonna go take some pictures and video of my own. Like, holy shit, look at this. I got gas here at this Circle K like a week and a half ago. And I'm not gonna do anything stupid. You know, I'm not gonna crawl around in there. I'm just gonna stay where it's safe and take some pictures. So one thing I'm noticing, it's obviously not open, but they have power. Look, the lottery signs have lights on. And the sign that would normally have the price is actually on. I think that just came on. I wanna say they just got power back. Yeah, there's lights, there's a news crew over here. I have no idea who they're for. Just nuts. See, everybody's coming through wondering what's going on. So we're just about home. The apartment complex is like a quarter mile that way. This cell phone tower right here, we can see out the window of our apartment. And our phone service has been really spotty all day at home. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So I'm like, let's go over and see the tower just to see what it's doing. And so, see these rows of cell phone bars? Usually, I mean, it's all, you know, it can vary, but usually one row of bars is one company. Like that level will be like AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile or wherever. So this tower, by the looks of it, all the different networks are on here. And you can hear the generator. These usually have like propane or diesel generators to keep them going for storms. And I'm just curious to see the extent of the damage, because the network hasn't been great today. Looks like that walkway thing there is a little bit bent. So you got some loose hanging wires in there. Usually they're snug, like those are snug. And then on this side, there's some loose hanging wires. So it looks like there is some damage, but it's working to some capacity. We've been getting texts and we've been able to call okay. But the data hasn't been real good. Like Generac, there's a generator right there. Man, those Generac generators are quiet. I had to walk way over here to find that it's it is on. That Kohler generator in there is a lot more powerful. So that generator says Verizon on it. So that big one must be for somebody else over there. Oh, and that control box is open. Yeah. Alright, to me that stuff is fascinating, but Melissa's waiting in the car, so I'm not going to take too long. So those of you, there's probably very few of you out there who know this about me, but there's I'm very interested in like towers and communications, cell networks, AM, FM radio. It's a very big interest of mine. And when I was younger, like when I was a teenager, I thought I was going to pursue a career in AM, FM broadcast radio. This is something I really enjoyed. I had a couple internships when I was younger, and I did a lot through internships. I got kind of lucky and kind of met people who knew the right people. I had one internship in New Hampshire where I was actually on the air as like a talk show host with a talk show. I was like the sidekick on a talk show for a few months. It was pretty cool. And then I had, I don't know if you could really call it an internship because the whole thing only lasted a couple days. It was more of a job shadow. But I went around with the engineer for the Manchester Radio Group in New Hampshire, and I got to see their transmitter sites and all that kind of stuff on the inside. I've just always been interested on it. And to make a long story short, when I was like around 18, I had to make a choice if I wanted to go to college and pursue that, because you can't really get those jobs without going to college. Like, it's possible, but very difficult. It just wasn't something I wanted to do, because I wanted to just travel and have fun and everything. And I did, and I have no regrets. I ended up being a truck driver. But I have no regrets. Just a little piece of information about me. I'll probably make more money being a truck driver anyway, honestly. Okay, so we're home now. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Sadie is eating. And we were both dying for a hot meal. We have plenty of food here, but there's no electricity and we don't have a grill, so we don't have a way to make a hot meal. So what we're gonna do is we're just walking around outside, and one of the neighbors was telling us that they have a couple of grills here just for whoever lives here to use out by the pool area that are, I guess they're like permanently attached and they take propane. And they said they were turned back on, so we're gonna try to go out and grill some hot dogs and then bring them back here and eat. And then we're thinking about going to the fire pit later. Just trying to stay occupied through all this. Let's go. Good morning. It's the next morning. It is Friday. The storm hit on Wednesday. It's this one right here. We're out driving around. We were going to go try to see Melissa's parents again, but their whole neighborhood is still flooded. They live in a part of Northport where there's basically one way in and one way out. And the street that you need to go down to get there is still completely flooded. So we turned around. And we noticed on the way by that Home Depot was open. So we're gonna go in and check it out and see what the situation is. Pulling up, it looks like there's a giant line just to get in the door, but we're not doing really anything else today. So let's see.
So many black spots. It's so terrible.
They used to be really bad at Northport, but now it's gotten.
Okay, we just got back. We went to Home Depot. It was about a 35 minute line to get in. Everybody in line was pleasant. You know, everybody was kind of just happy to be there, just hanging out, swapping stories of how their houses made it through the hurricane. And it was just, it was good just to have something to do, you know? Like I think I said to Melissa in line, it beats sitting at home here, out, you know, out about, talking to people. And I will show you guys what we got at Home Depot in a minute. They were letting only certain people into the store at a time. It kind of felt like it was just like to kind of control the crowd because it was so crowded, and to prevent theft, I think, was the main reason. But anyway, we got in, and once you were in, there was no time limit. Once you were in, it's totally normal. We're probably in there, what, 45 minutes maybe, looking around. But before I get to what we bought, when we were coming up the stairs into the apartment complex, our neighbor is yelling at us out the window going, "Did you guys hear we have water?" So I guess the water came back on. There's no well for this place. This is city water. Let's go check it out. Yep. First time in about 2 days we've had running water. Real nice. Yeah, that's working all right. All right, let me bring everything in, and then I will show you guys what we got at Home Depot. So we're out in the car again. It's later on in the afternoon. The charcoal grill didn't work so great. It was way too smoky for the little balcony in the apartment. It set off the smoke alarm in the apartment. So it was a pain. So the next time we use it, we'll probably have to take it outside and drag it down to the parking lot. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going out in search of, you know, more food. Even if we did take the grill downstairs and use it, we don't really have anything left to grill. So we're looking for either like some packaged like steak or burgers or something to buy, or a restaurant that's open. Not real sure we're gonna find anything, but we don't have anything else to do, so we're taking a ride back through Port Charlotte. Sitting in traffic right now. Everybody's out today. I mean, I don't blame them. It's so boring just sitting around doing nothing. Lots of power line workers are out. We've seen a lot of them, and they were working right up the street from our apartment complex, so hopefully the power comes on soon. It's only a few minutes later. We were driving through Port Charlotte, and we had one of those, oh shit, go there moments. You want to tell everybody why?
Domino's is open.
The Domino's was open, cash only, takeout only, and we went in and we got pizza, and we're waiting for them to make it. We're just walking around the parking lot. It's in a big plaza, like Domino's is on the other end. But stuff is starting to open up. In this plaza, Domino's was open, and there was a Chinese restaurant that was open. And we're actually gonna get hot food tonight. How does that feel?
Yum.
Alright. And we only live like 10 minutes from here, so we're gonna grab the pizza and run home and have dinner. So, yep. That's the update. Alright, sorry it's kind of dark. Had a really lazy day vlog-wise. It's 7:30 p.m. the next day. Didn't record really anything today, but I'll take you through what happened. We woke up like normal, kind of just hung around. Then the battery in Melissa's car died because she was charging her phone a lot. Alright, well anyway, so we went out and Walmart was open. And we got a new battery for her car and put that in. And by then it was like the middle of the day. So we went over to Melissa's sister's house, which is like 5 minutes from the apartment. Melissa's parents were there too. They finally got out. They were in a really flooded neighborhood, but they were able to drive out finally. And we all had lunch together. We went to Jersey Mike's Subs and got takeout and brought it back to their house. And Melissa's sister's house. And then we kind of just hung around, came back, went for a long walk, and that's been the day so far. I heard from my boss at work today that it's going to take a while to get the concrete plant up and running because it's really damaged. They said best case 1 week from now, worst case 1 month from now. So who really knows? But the company I work for has 2 concrete plants, one here in Charlotte County that I work for. And then there's another one in Allenton, which is up in Manatee County, about an hour north of here. And they didn't get the storm quite as bad as we did. And they think that plant's going to be up and running probably like the middle of this coming week. So they were asking for volunteers to go and take your truck and drive your cement mixer up there and work up there during the day and then drive back here at the end of the day. So I volunteered for that, just to have some money coming in and for something to do. But that won't be till Tuesday at the earliest. It's still Saturday. And I mean, who even knows? They're going in to inspect the damage on that other plant on Monday, so who really knows what's going to happen? Taking it day by day. Right now, we're just bored, so we were going to go out to just get out of the apartment. And we're going to Walmart to return that old car battery that came out. It's really stupid, and some of you might know this, some might not. When you buy a car battery pretty much anywhere, they charge you this stupid fee that's anywhere from like $10 to $20. It's like a recycling fee, and you have to bring back that old battery, and you get your money back, and it was $12. So I'm like, well, we're not doing anything. Let's go take the battery in and get $12. And then we might get some ice cream while we're there, because this Walmart actually had food. They had refrigerated stuff. They had everything. It was like business as usual. And I'm not a huge fan of Walmart for reasons I'm not going to go into. But they're open, they have stuff, and you got to go where you can go right now. And we're possibly, we don't have a final decision yet, but we might, me, Melissa, and my brother-in-law, Melissa's sister's husband, might go in the morning really early to go get gas and be towards the front of the line when the gas station in Port Charlotte opens. We haven't made a final decision yet, but that's what we're leaning towards. Just, everybody's safe, everybody's healthy. We're just waiting for normal life to come back. Getting really restless, but what can you do? We're blessed. We have our health. None of our stuff got destroyed. At this point, to us, it's just a major inconvenience. To other people, they've lost everything, so I really am in no position to complain. So that's the update so far today. Alright, no, I didn't record much today, but that's alright. It was pretty much told you everything that happened earlier in the car. We're headed to bed, and we did decide to get up, and all 3 of us, me, my wife, and my brother-in-law, go and get gas tomorrow and be towards the front of the line when they open. We think it probably opens at maybe 6 or somewhere in there. But we're gonna meet up at his house at 4:30 and all head over together. And well, number one, we said we're not doing anything else. And number two, if we can get a little bit of gas, you know, why not? Melissa's car has just over half a tank because that's the car we've been using to run around and go to the store and things. My truck has 3/4, and then I got a 5-gallon gas container to take over there and fill up. And if I can find any other containers, I'll take them too. But that's the update. Talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, it's later in the day. We're back home in the apartment. So the gas was kind of a success, kind of a failure. So we went to the Wawa in Port Charlotte. And if those of you not from around here, that's a big gas station chain in Florida. Other places too, but it's huge in Florida. And they were one of the very few in this area with gas. So we went there, we got in line. They've had gas the last few days, but because of crazy lines, we hadn't tried it yet. And what happened was we got there and we were maybe, there were maybe 20 people in line in front of us, 20 cars. But the place has 2 entrances and it was very unclear whether you line up at one entrance or the other because yesterday only one of the entrances were open when we drove by and it was really unclear. So we just went where most people were going and got in line. And a lot of people, the gas station's like on a corner, so a lot of people were turning right in and cutting the whole line. And it was getting really frustrating. Like we were first in line across the street. So there was room for like 20 cars, then you cross the street and there's room for, 100 or 200 more. And we were first in line across the street. So people kept cutting in and going in front of us and it was really frustrating. And I was like, it's not worth it. And they weren't even open. This was like 5 o'clock in the morning. They weren't supposed to open till 7 and there was nobody directing traffic. So the line cutting was just going on. We talked to some people and told them like, hey, the line's over there or over there. And a lot of people were really nice about it. And we're like, oh, we didn't realize there's a line. But we dealt with one asshole that just was not moving and just rolled up his window. We had me and my brother-in-law and 2 guys that were just there in line with us that we were kind of gotten friendly with. And we were trying to tell this guy, like, buddy, get out of line. You just cut people that have been here an hour and a half. And he just said, all right, whatever, just waved at us and rolled up his window. And then finally, we'd kind of given up and walked away. And the police were there to direct traffic. After about an hour, they showed up. But the traffic was fine. There were no traffic flow issues. What they really needed to do was supervise this line and keep tensions low with all the line cutting. And, that's where they really needed to be. So the cops, I'm not going to lie, the cops were dicks. They ignored this whole situation of people being tense in line and we're directing traffic. And the traffic didn't even need to be directed. It wasn't an issue. There was more traffic in line than going down the street. And this cop, probably 45, 50-year-old guy gets out of his car. And there's an older guy in line a few cars in front of us just waving him down, because he wanted to tell him about this guy that, had cut the line, who was still there at that point. But, the cop doesn't know the situation. So without seeing what happened, he's probably not going to do anything about it. And that's why me and my brother-in-law were like, whatever, it's not going to change. And we kind of shrugged and walked off. But this guy was waving down the cop. And the cop says, I see you. What do you want? He's a total jackass, the cop. And he walked up to him like, you get back in your car. You get back in your car, to the old guy and the guy who cut everybody in line. So eventually the guy who cut everybody in line had to leave, which was really good. We were glad he didn't get anything. But we're just kind of standing there, me and my brother-in-law and my wife, and we're like, it's not worth it. Let's figure something else out. So we left. We regrouped at my brother-in-law's house. But somebody in line had told us that the Bradenton area was normal. They had gas and there was no line. So I got on the phone. I made a few phone calls. And we did confirm with gas stations that, yeah, they're open. They have gas. There's no line. And so my brother-in-law wanted to visit his grandmother who lives in Bradenton, so we didn't go with him. We were all going to pile in his car and just go at first, but he took our gas cans and he filled them up for us because he was going to visit up there. And which is fine. We did get gas. We got 10 gallons. So this is what my brother-in-law brought back. This one we had the old one with the good spout that doesn't have that stupid government mandated anti-spill crap, which really just makes it hard to use. But this newer one has that. But I'll probably just take the spout off of this one and put it on this one when we pour out. But we only had one of these. So I asked him when he was up there if the gas station had any. I asked him to get me 3 of these and I'd pay him whatever it cost. But they had one left, which he got for us and filled up. So we got 10 gallons. That should probably fill up. That should probably fill up your car, and then my truck can get a few gallons after that. So we're doing good. And he actually got gas in Sarasota. He didn't go all the way to Bradenton because there was a place in Sarasota that was open with a 30-minute line. But the Interstate 75 is still hard to get onto because the on-ramps are flooded, I guess he was saying. So it's still a bad situation, but it's slowly getting better. So we now know we can go up on Route 41 to the Sarasota Bradenton area and we can get gas. So I'm not too afraid to drive around anymore because I know we can get it. The other thing that happened, Melissa, you want to tell everybody what else happened today? Oh, she's shaking her head no. Oh, come on. I see you over there. Right after I stopped recording, all she said was, I don't like to talk in those things. So, okay, moving on. We were taking a nap, we were laying in bed, and we heard like a siren outside that sounded really close, like close enough it had to be in the complex here. And then there was a loudspeaker, and all we heard was Red Cross, free meals, and they said it again and again. And we're like, all right, let's go outside and check it out. And there was a Red Cross, like a cargo van with 2 volunteers. One was driving, one was in the back giving out food. And this is what we got. Heater Meals EX. I've never seen these before. The self-heating meal. All of this looks pretty good. They gave us 2 each. So we're going to probably break into these tomorrow and try this stuff out. I'll definitely put it in the vlog. That's actually been one of my biggest things this whole time. And again, we're very blessed. Our cars are fine. Our apartment's fine, other than some water leaking. We came out of this pretty well. But it's been hard having cold food all the time. Like this morning, for example, I had potato chips and a cold can of soup for breakfast. So just to get a hot meal right now, I've never appreciated it more. So it was really nice that they were doing that. Yeah, you always hear about the Red Cross helping when there's some kind of disaster, wherever it may be. But to actually experience it firsthand, it's humbling. It's a situation I never thought I'd be in. The reason I say we're going to open those tomorrow is because today we're going over to my brother-in-law's house again for dinner. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, their 3 kids, and Melissa's parents are all over there. So it's going to be like one gigantic group dinner. And they have a propane grill over there. They still have no power like everybody else, but they have a propane grill. And there's a grocery store that's open kind of up that way that Melissa's parents have been going to. And they were going to get some burgers to grill. But I guess we just heard they didn't have any burgers, but they were able to get steak. So we're going over there in a couple hours to eat and hang out with everybody. Just waiting. It's just a waiting game for everything to get back to normal here. I think I might have mentioned this yesterday, but Melissa's job is destroyed. The dog kennel she works at had heavy damage, and they're not sure how long it's going to take to get back up and running. It sounds like it's a mess over there. She works in Englewood. But my job, the concrete plant I work for, the trucks are all fine. Went over, saw my cement mixer yesterday. It's fine. No damage. No broken glass, nothing. It's all good. But the concrete plant itself, the equipment that actually makes the concrete to load the trucks had some pretty heavy damage. So they said that's going to be some time to fix. They said best case, it'll take a week to fix it. Worst case, about a month. But they were asking for volunteers. The company I work for has 2 plants, one here in Charlotte County and then another one up north in Manatee County in Ellenton, which is the next town after Bradenton. They're asking for volunteers to go take your truck, drive your truck up there and work there and come back in the evening and work up there when that gets up and running. And I told them I would do that, you know, make some money, have something to do. And Melissa said she didn't care if I did that, so I put my name in for that. But even that's going to be a few days. They're assessing the damage up there tomorrow to see what it's going to take to get that plant up and running. All right, I've just talked for like 10 minutes, so I'm going to give it a rest, but I'll check in with you guys later. And hopefully wherever you are, where you're seeing this video, all is normal and fine, because it sure is not normal and fine down here just yet. All right, good news. We had dinner at Melissa's sister's house, and so we had dinner with them over there, and Melissa's parents were there, and we had a big like family dinner. It was really nice. And now we come home and the power's back on. Everything just really feels back to normal in here. Melissa's got laundry going in there. I'm not even hungry because we had a big steak dinner over there, but I'm gonna make some microwave popcorn just because we have a microwave now and we can actually use it. And warm water in the shower. The water came on a couple days ago, but it was cold, so now the water heater works. So just amazing. So the power's on, the water's on, we got gas today. It really feels like things are getting back to normal. I just need my job to catch up. So yeah, that's the update. Today is Sunday. The storm came through on Wednesday. So we had, let's see, we had 4 days without power. Not too bad, all things considered. Good morning. It is the next day. Things finally feel like they're getting back to normal. We have power. We have water. Stores are still crazy. We're actually going to go grocery shopping today and hope to find some stuff. Anyway, I'm going to have, even though the power's back on, because we just got them yesterday and they look interesting, I'm going to have one of these self-heating meals that the Red Cross gave out yesterday before the power came back on. So let's see how this works. So they gave out 2 per person. So to open this end, I'm gonna be a little slow because I'm trying to do this one-handed holding the camera. Okay, let's see what's in here. This is gonna be more complicated than I thought. All right, where are the directions? Open flap on right side of package with tab and slide out cardboard tray containing ingredients. Okay, so the first step is just to open the box. That's easy enough. Insert unopened meal inside heater bag on top of food heat. So this must be the heater bag. All right, so we got to put the unopened food in this bag. And then I'm going to probably turn off the camera and do this and then turn the camera back on when it's ready to go. This is going to be impossible one-handed. But after that, open water pouch and pour into bag. And then it looks like you put the food in this bag and pour this water packet in the bag. And then you put everything back in the box and leave it for 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. All right, so I set everything up according to the instructions. And our neighbor downstairs told us the box gets really hot, so set it outside on your porch while it's cooking. So that's what I did. And look at that, it's really steaming. It was like a heater packet, a food packet, and then you poured the water in and it activated the heat. Then the bag like sealed it. You have like a sticky thing to seal the bag shut and slide it back in. It's supposed to sit here for 10 to 12 minutes. It's maybe been 5 minutes. So I'm very impressed with this so far. It's pretty easy to make. Came out really hot, and it smells really good. It came with a little salt and pepper packet, a plastic spoon, and a wipe to clean your hands when you're done.
Yep.
Oh, and it looks like Sadie's eye in it, too. All right, let's take the first bite and see how it is. That is very good. Our neighbor yesterday was telling us these were good. And I agree, it's pretty good. Want to try a bite?
No.
Try a bite? Alright, so as you saw in that last clip, we got gas. That was in like the southern part of Sarasota. Alright, as you saw in that last clip, we did get gas. We found a gas station in the southern part of Sarasota there on Route 41. Pretty windy, we're at the beach. No line, was able to pull right in, took cash, card, everything. It's just normal Circle K. It was open, so I filled up 3 5-gallon gas containers, topped off my truck, and it should be good for a while. Right now we're at the beach. This is Caperson Beach in Venice on the way back home. Alright, so hopefully y'all can hear me, otherwise I'll probably have to re-record this audio later. Things are finally starting to feel a little more like normal. Just feels nice to be on this beach. It doesn't even feel like anything happened here. You wouldn't even know it. And Melissa's over there looking for shark tooth. This is the beach where you can find the shark teeth. It's just if you're not familiar, just Google Caperson Beach. It'll come right up and you can read about it. So we're probably like 40 minutes from home. I just felt like getting out. Cabin fever was getting to me.